more energy.
Of 114th Street and 120th Street, of Broadway and Morningside Drive, there is a peaceful oasis of the life of the mind, defiantly independent of the surrounding marketplace racket of Manhattan. The best things of the moment were outside the rectangle of Columbia. The best things of all human history and thought were inside. If only you had the sense, you could spend 4 years in an unforgettably exciting and improving alternation between two realms of magic. That doubled magic is lasting me a lifetime. All my writings, such as they are, trace back in one sense or another to my 4 years at Columbia.
Getting set for kickoff for Columbia's home opener. It's the Lions take on Fordham. Back here with Sal Rosamilia. I'm John Fanta. And Sal, as we go into this match, one thing is for certain. Columbia really enjoys RBC Soccer Stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been like that forever, but certainly under the coach, Tracy Bartholomew, the record at home has been tremendous. 16-4-4 in her 4 seasons. And really defensively just tremendous. This is a Fordham team that struggled to score so far here in 2018, and it's a tough matchup for them with the defensive power that Columbia has.
Underway here on a sun-drenched Sunday in New York. Temps in the 80s. It is certainly hot, and both these teams playing on Friday, so both coaches are interested to see how their teams respond.
Yeah, it's always tough, especially early in the season. Neither team, I would say, is in mid-season fitness at this point. You play a Friday night game. Both teams were on the road and have to come back Sunday afternoon. Like you said, temperature in the mid to high 80s today. It's always tough to recover, and the team that can come out with a little bit more energy early in the game could really take control.
Fordham yet to score this season, and in a new formation, a 4-1-3-2 for the Rams. And for Columbia, it's a 4-3-3. And a couple changes for them today. Primarily, it's Riley Lucas, the senior captain, who's out in the back line. So they'll try to deal without her. Kayla Davis moving to the back.
Well, this is a Columbia team that's really got a tremendous amount of depth that they've added to year after year. It's just a solid group, and Coach Bartholomew can go to the bench and bring players off who are of a high level, just as much quality as they have in the starters. So usually 1 or 2 players they can make up for, but certainly that's a loss in one of the senior captains, Riley Lucas, not being on the field today.
Columbia in this 4-1-3-2 with Stanko and Cronin up top. Johnson, Salmon, Dandridge, Rossi throughout the midfield, roughly holding it down near the back, but here come the Lions now, switching fields. One sent out, and it'll be a throw for Columbia. And
Columbia, you know, we talk about, and we will continue to talk about, the defensive power that they've been under Coach Tracy Bartholomew. No surprise there, as a former top-notch goalkeeper herself, that the defense is always very well organized. But this is a team last year that was tremendous going forward. Columbia, 34 goals last season, better than 2 a game. And they really bring, returning 7 of their top 8 leading scorers from last year's team as well, Columbia. So this is a team that not only is very good defensively, but also can score goals in bunches.
Tracy Bartholomew, in her 5th season, says it's the deepest Lions squad that she's had. It's going to be Johnson who sends this one in for the Lions. Going far side. That one eaten up by Lamort.
That was Kayla Lee, one of the smallest players on the field, the freshman, 5'2", that got the touch on that just outside the 6-yard box. And defensively, I think Fordham's got to do a better job attacking that long ball into the box.
Fordham taking this matchup between these two teams 2-0 last year in the Bronx. Whitehouse just sends it over to Johnson. It's Davis, Johnson, Peacock, and Penn for Columbia along the back. Ko, Wall, Shilkraut, the freshman, will be watching for her in this matchup in the middle, and Geller, Anderson, and Lee up top as Columbia looks to build from the back. It'll be a Fordham throw. So we're just underway from New York City, the home opener for the Columbia Lions women's soccer team. And the 2018-19 Columbia opener on ESPN+. Glad that you're with us. Holst drilling it over to the far side. The Rams looking to generate some offense. They've yet to score this season. 2 shutout losses to one of the best programs in the nation, South Carolina, and then on Friday against Holy Cross. A tough result for the Rams, and Coach Jessica Clinton thinks it could be a wake-up call.
Well, it's what she's hoping for sure. I mean, the opener at South Carolina, top 5 program in the country, is not a real surprise. But that second game, not being able to get a goal at Holy Cross, you know, I think they were hoping for a better result in that match. And yeah, that's what you'd like to think. Playing a local rival, a city rival, coming off a disappointing defeat. And hopefully that does wake them up here.
Maselli doing a good job for Fordham in the back line, just sending that ball away. But for Columbia, it is a throw-in. And talking to Coach Bartholomew before this one, Lions are looking to carry over some of the offensive momentum that they found last season.
Yeah, which, again, the first few years under Coach Bartholomew's direction, it was just a team that was unbelievable defensively. One of the top 10 teams in the country year after year, it seemed, from a defensive point of view, but really where they've made the leap to be real contenders for the Ivy League championship is when they've kept the defense as solid as it's been, but also now they've got the great ability to score goals. And they showed that last year. 34 goals scored in 16 matches and only allowing 13 against.
Turnover now, and taken over by Columbia. Lions with something working here. Ko. Whistle and foul on Columbia, so it'll belong to Fordham. We remind you, Columbia Women's Soccer is brought to you by Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Take on today. Nearly 8 minutes into this fixture between two metropolitan squads. Columbia and Fordham both looking for the first win of the 2018 campaign. Sophie Whitehouse doing such a nice job in the cage last year for Columbia and back at it this year, and Coach Bartholomew thinks that experience can be really beneficial, as this is a Lions team that ranked 22nd nationally in goals against average. And that defense just drilling the ball away here, but a .706 goals against average for the Lions last year to rank top 25 nationally. What a step for the program.
And what they were able to do in conference play was even more impressive, setting records in the Ivy League, stuff that's never been done before. Sophie Whitehouse with 6 shutouts in 7 conference games, including a shutout of Princeton on the road. 2-0 win for Columbia, which was one of the top wins. Really, Princeton hadn't lost a game all year up to that point, and went on and had a nice run in the NCAA tournament.
This Columbia team can be a shutout machine. Only 1 goal allowed last year in Ivy League play. But Fordham put up a commanding performance against these Lions last year. Columbia looking to flip the script, and Coach Bartholomew said her seniors really want this one. They don't want to go down to the Rams again. As for our teams getting a feel for each other, we've seen a lot of that right there. Just back and forth action through the midfield and an occasional near threat, but Lamort just working it to her back line and a little give and go.
I think we'll see that a lot today, John, because you got 2 really well-coached teams, very organized, understanding defensively what they want to do. Both head coaches, former high-level goalkeepers themselves at the collegiate level, so just really good, well-coached, organized teams that put an emphasis on defending and preventing the other team from scoring. So it's going to be tough to play, especially through the middle of the field. There's a lot of extra players there. Fordham really flooding the midfield in the 4-1-3-2 formation, in Columbia in their 4-3-3, but at times those 2 outside forwards, when they don't have the ball, will tuck back into the midfield to really try to clog up some of those passing lanes, and just makes it difficult to play through that center third of the field.
Well, for Fordham, this is a brand new strategy for them with the 4-1-3-2, and they're relying on Maggie Ruffley to be that holding mid next to that last line of defense for the Rams, and that's where Ruffley's role is so important, because she can start the buildup, as here she is now.
Yeah, you see she's trying to start the attack there, looking to get the balls from the center defenders and try to build out of the back, but Columbia with good pressure on her.
It was cut off well. Peacock jumping in there with the header, and Columbia now looking to turn the field. Shilkraut, the talented newcomer for the Lions. Rams with some pace here. Holst. And the Lions just stifling any chance that Fordham gets. The Rams yet to have a shot in the first 12 minutes of action. Long ball sent to the Lions attacking third, but Lamort will just wait to vacuum this one up. Columbia Women's Soccer is brought to you by Pure Silk Premium Disposable Razors with close shave technology. You're looking good, America. Lions trying to get something going in the attack. It's well defended by Fordham. John Fanta, Sal Rosamilia with you from RBC Soccer Stadium. A whistle, and Fordham will have it here to try to start up possession, as the Rams have really yet to get it into the attacking third much, and any attempt has been cut off well by the Lions.
Well, eventually when both teams are going to have some frustrations trying to play through the midfield, you'll start seeing some long balls over the top to see if they can drop that back four from both sides. Just drop them a little bit deeper to try to open up some space to play through the midfield.
We heard Jessica Clinton, the Fordham head coach, say before this game, that one a deflection right back to Whitehouse, that the Rams do not want to go in the direction of that center back, Amalia Johnson, for Columbia, because they know her all too well.
It's another reason why this game takes on a little bit more importance besides being a local rivalry. Two schools separated by not very much in terms of miles apart from each other. Fordham campus really close to Rocco B. Camiso Soccer Stadium here, but you know, they recruit a lot of the same players from the same kind of pool. It's both good academic schools, obviously, good soccer programs. So a lot of times both of these coaches are going to be looking at the same players and seeing value in them. So there's some added incentive to try to get that win here today.
Maybe early in the season, but both these teams are looking to get their first W. And this would be great for momentum's sake. Columbia drawing Drexel on Friday. They felt like they had the chances at the start of the second half and then at the end of double overtime to get that game winner, but just did not happen. And Coach Bartholomew said it, you really can't get upset at your team this time of year because you only have so many practices and there's some newcomers to the lineup. It is just so early.
Yeah, one of the struggles really that Ivy League sports has is just that. They're behind when it comes to preparation in the early part of the season, really no matter what sport it is, when they can begin practices, how many practices they can get in before their first exhibition game and so on. So, you know, you have a lot of time. You have a lot to take care of and really very little time to get it accomplished. But both of these programs are using these early season games before they get into conference play, division play, just to try to figure those things out. Incorporate the new players into the lineup, get your team fit for a full 90 minutes. Both of these teams recognize their best path into the NCAA tournament is by winning their conference. Fordham has the advantage as we get a water break here. Fordham has the advantage of a playoff system. In their league, I think 8 teams make the A10 playoffs on the women's soccer side. In preseason, I saw Fordham was picked number 9 in the conference, so they're going to be right on the border there of what the so-called experts feel is a playoff spot in the A10. And, of course, in the Ivy League, there still is not a soccer playoff, but hopefully one day there will be. And I think based off of what Columbia's done the last couple of seasons and what they have returning, you would have to feel that Princeton's got to be the favorite, what they did last year, and they've got a good amount of returning players. But Columbia's right in the mix. They've gone to the final game of the season the last 2 years, Columbia, with a chance to win an Ivy championship, and unfortunately just came up just short. But hopefully for Coach Tracy Bartholomew that this is the year that they get over the mountain.
Columbia Women's Soccer is brought to you by Academy Bus, the official team carrier of the Columbia Lions. The best choice to travel between Manhattan, New England, and Washington is Go Buses. Book a seat on one of our new buses and enjoy a hassle-free ride, power outlets, and free Wi-Fi. To learn more or purchase tickets, visit www.gobuses.com. Scoreless between Columbia and Fordham at RBC Soccer Stadium. And thus far, only one shot. That coming from the Lions as we do get substitution now. It's Amaris Hemmings coming in for the Lions. There's Sophie Whitehouse, who was so good for Columbia in goal last year. An 840 save percentage. Goals against average of .87. And a second team All Ivy League honoree. One of 6 All Ivy League honorees for the Lions that are back for this team. Fordham in transition now. Ball bolted out of the corner, and it'll be a Lions throw. Morris Hemmings coming on, 2 goals, 5 assists last season. A senior who can get the offense going. Hemmings checking in for Kayla Lee. Lions looking to switch the field here. Wall drilling it across the field, and now on the far side, Lions with it. Columbia and Fordham. A lot of midfield action thus far.
Well, Hemmings gives Columbia that option now with some real pace up top to think about maybe some long balls over the top. Try to find her behind the Fordham defense, maybe free up a little bit of room in the middle third of the field.
Whitehouse eating that up easily. For Columbia on Friday night, the 1-1 draw against Drexel. Here's a long ball. Way off her line was Lamort, just to drill it away, and got there in good time.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about there. Hemmings has that pace to get behind defenders. And a heads-up play by the goalkeeper, Lamort, that time. But that'll open up a little bit more space here in the midfield that Columbia can try to play through.
Here's Coe on the right side, to the top of the 18, and just lined away. Nearly 20 minutes in, a shot apiece for these two teams. Here's Peacock. Columbia looking to switch it up here, but Fordham forces a turnover. And here come the Rams in transition. The closing speed in the Lions, though, right on cue.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a heavy touch there from Taylor Penn as she tried to come back from her center back position and carry the ball over midfield, but she really recovered nicely, allowed a bunch of the defenders to get behind the ball and stop that Fordham attack there. I'd like to see Kayla Davis, who's playing left back today. She spent a lot of time in the center of the midfield last year as a freshman for Columbia. I'd like to see her get forward a little bit more.
Opportunity here for Hemmings. Hemmings sends a ball into the middle. Go back to Hemmings. 1v1 action now. Right side in the box. And defended very well. Dandridge there.
That's a great job by Kendall Dandridge. Going down to the ground, sliding the ball away. Yes, it's a corner kick for Columbia, but going down in the box, near the box, and cleanly coming away with it.
Fader sent to the left side, a header. That one rolls away.
That was headed away. Yeah, Geller looked like maybe that was going towards the far post, going on goal, and headed clear for another corner kick for Columbia. Hemmings has made a difference since she's gotten into the match.
Shilkrant, the freshman, takes this corner. They love her potential. Header on, and right there is Lamort locking it up.
Yeah, Geller again. Second header in a row there inside the box for Jordan Geller for Columbia. And Lamort has done a nice job early going for Fordham. She's certainly been their busiest player in their first two matches, and maybe has been their best player. Certainly played really well in that South Carolina game.
We were talking to Coach Clinton, who is a former goalkeeper. Her whole staff, they're goalkeepers, and Lamort, she says that they love her footwork. They absolutely love the way that she can move on her feet quickly in net, but got to be helpful for her. She's coached by a bunch of former keepers.
Well, I think every college in the country, men and women's side, should hire a bunch of former goalkeepers to coach. It's always good practice.
I'm not talking to a former forward here, am I?
No. But that has nothing to do with it. They just happen to be really good coaches who know the game better than any of the other players on the field. But a goalkeeper being able to play with their feet these days is just really absolutely imperative for the success of a team. So often you see teams high pressuring, and if the defense doesn't have the confidence to play the ball back to the goalkeeper to relieve some of that pressure, it's an absolute nightmare. We see some more changes.
Shilkrant taking the Lions' third corner of this match. Lions have 2 shots on goal. Looking to break through here. Shilkrant. Headed away by the Rams. Lamort catching that on the fly, and Kelly Lamort has been really rock solid thus far. And Stephanie Shin coming on for Columbia for Gracie Wall. Brooklyn Gonzalez checking in for Fordham as well. Thus far, it's been pretty much what we expected in a matchup like this. A lot of defense. Coe. Opportunity here. Give and go. Coe scores! Emma Anderson set her up. Emily Coe with her first goal of the season, and the Lions have the lead.
And it was a great run forward there. You see some space now finally in front of the defenders, behind the midfielders, and a great one-touch give-and-go pass. And then Coe giving it up for that final opportunity. Lamort came off, tried to close down the angle. There was a defender right there, but it was a perfectly timed give-and-go. Great little touch pass from Emma Anderson at the top of the box, and a wonderful finish from Coe, junior forward who scored a bunch last year for Columbia, and she'll need to do that a bunch more this year for them to achieve the goals that they're looking for. But it was a great little connection at the top of the box. And a wonderful pass there by Emma Anderson.
Emily Coe with 1 goal last season, and to get her first of the year right here, that a tremendous job by her to get on the give and go and come up big. So Coe getting the Lions on the board, and what an opportunity generated by Anderson. That right there is the connection that Coach Bartholomew is looking for. You can't ask for a better start for the Lions in their home opener as they have the early lead.
It's pretty close to the time in the match that they scored against Drexel as well on Friday night. And they continued to play well throughout the balance of that first half. Were not able to get that second goal. We'll see how the rest of the game goes here. But that second goal is always key. It's good to get that first one there. It's going to force Fordham to have to come out now. They've struggled to score, as we've talked about, John, this year. 2 regular season matches, 2 games that they lost 1-0, 2 exhibition games as well that they lost 1-0. So they've had a tough time scoring goals. They're playing a team that's extremely stingy at home, and they find themselves down 1-0. They'll have to take some more risks, which then, of course, makes them a little bit more susceptible to Columbia going forward.
To clarify on Ko, that is her 7th goal of her career. 5 last year, 1 as a freshman, and this is a junior who we just saw what she can do on the field. What a connection with Anderson, and leave it to Emma Anderson, who's now 8th all-time at Columbia for goals scored. She sits with 21, and she still has a little bit of ways to go, but has a shot to get that record this season. Would have to score 11 this year, but it says a lot about her that right there, the unselfish play in the box.
Well, she's extremely good and comfortable playing with her back to the goal at the top of the box, and that's exactly the position that she had there. Powerful on the ball, able to pin defenders behind her, and also has the ability to turn either way when her defender is pinned to create chances for herself. Here she goes again. She's very good pinning the defender. She can turn left to right and get her shot off in the box, but what she did there was just keep her defender pinned, knocked a great give and go off with Ko, and Ko really still had a lot of work to do. It was a great pass, but she felt the pressure from the defender. She saw the goalkeeper, Lamort, coming out face-to-face with her. She knew she was going to get hit, but she still had the confidence and the composure to finish that ball into the far corner to give Columbia the lead. So it's just a great goal all around.
Coming in the 25th minute, that's what has the Lions on top. Columbia looking for more. Anderson got cut off. Slusher has come on for the Lions, and she has the throw-in now for Columbia as a couple more subs are checking in. Bailey Peacock checking out, and 3 Lions are coming on now.
This is that depth that you talked about earlier, John, that your conversation with Coach Bartholomew that she spoke about. And we're seeing it tested early. I mean, it's important early in the season when not everybody is at full match fitness. And you have a lot of new players that you're trying to incorporate with a bunch of returners as well. Now's the time to see what they can do. Bench always gets a little bit shorter as you get into mid-late September. Get ready for conference play. You kind of have your starters figured out, your rotations figured out.
This will already be the 5th corner kick for the Lions. Fordham with none thus far, and not many opportunities at all for the Rams. Shilkraut, the freshman who the Lions absolutely love. She will send this in. Columbia looking for more right now. It's a great ball. Chaos, and the Lions. Whistle blown, it'll go to Fordham, but a near opportunity there. That was a lot of chaos. There were about 8 bodies around the ball.
Yeah, that's a good word for that. That was chaos. Some desperate defending there by Fordham. 2 great chances, Taylor Penn and Amaris Hemmings from well inside the 6 with opportunities to just blast that ball into the goal. But give Fordham credit there as there were multiple players really just putting their bodies on the line there to keep this a 1-goal game.
Columbia Women's Soccer is brought to you by Nissan. A win for your team is a win for you too. There's nothing quite like it except driving a Nissan. Get to Nissan, a proud supporter of college athletics, and shop ChooseNissan.com today. take on today. Columbia 1, Fordham nothing. John Fanta, Sal Rosamilia with you on this Sunday afternoon in New York City. The Lions getting on the board. In the 25th minute, Emily Coe on the receiving end of a give and go with Emma Anderson. And Coe finishing off a line drive shot that just got past Kelly Lamort, who up until that point had been stellar to start. And not a sharp shot in terms of how hard it was hit, but more how precise it was hit. Coe had more work to do, as you said earlier, Sal, and really good touch by Coe to finish it off and get the Lions the lead here. For Columbia, today's about responding from a tough draw at Drexel, in which the Lions felt like they could have gotten the W, and now finishing off opening weekend with a win in a place where they've been so dominant. 16-4-4 record in 4 years under Tracy Bartholomew here at the RBC Soccer Stadium. And there was 1 year where this stadium was obviously under construction. So to get 16 wins and 4 draws out of the 24 tries, that is exceptional. That shot deflected like off a ram, and it will be a throw.
Yeah, I think that was Maddie Tamaris there with a great chance at the top of the box. Again, desperate defending by Fordham, keeping this a 1-goal game.
Shokrant to send this in. It is a corner, and it's the 6th out of the 7th now for the Lions. Going far post and headed away.
It's like a carbon copy of the Drexel game on Friday night for Columbia, getting that goal midway or so through the first half and then continuing to put the pressure on immediately after, but unable to get that second goal, which is so important.
Coach Bartholomew said that Drexel changed some things up at the half and went more direct with some long balls in the second stanza on Friday night. So for Fordham, she said that would be good prep for the Rams, and clearly it is, because the Lions defense has been in lockdown mode since kick. Only 1 shot on goal for Fordham.
Yeah, Sophie Whitehouse had an unusual amount of saves in that Drexel game. With a lot of those chances coming after halftime.
Omar turning that over. Devine had it taken away from her. How about this Lions defense? Tamaris was looking for something in the attacking third, but off of a Ram, and now a Rams throw. 10 and change to go in this first half of the Lions women's soccer's home opener against another local foe. It's Fordham. Glad that you're with us on ESPN+. Lions getting on the board in the 25th. Emily Coe with the assist coming from Emma Anderson, who already has made an impact this season. As expected, the leading returning scorer for the Lions, getting on the board Friday against Drexel. What are you looking for here in the final 10 minutes of the half?
Well, it'd be great for Columbia to get that second goal because they've certainly pushed for it. But still, this is what you expect to see out of this Columbia unit. Just great job moving in shape when they don't have the ball. Just very, very well organized, turning people over and then quickly turning defense into offense. This is exactly what Columbia has done very successfully for years now.
Hemmings had a great run at it, but just could not get much of a clean foot on that. And touch right to Lamort.
I don't think we'll see a whole lot of difference from what the mentality was for both of these teams prior to kickoff. I think if the half continues this way, certainly Fordham coach Jessica Clinton will have to try to make some changes. I understand it's a new formation for them, trying to learn how to play within this 4-1-3-2. But if they can't create any real danger opportunities at the Columbia goal, they're going to have to try to change up something tactically to push for, to get back into this match.
To go in depth with the Lions a little bit, this is a Columbia team, as we get a couple of substitutions now. For Fordham, it's Clara Gastaldi checking in. Talia Tyler in for the Lions. But Sal, we talked to Coach Bartholomew before this one, and this is a Lions team that only allowed 1 goal in all of Ivy League play last year. That's hard to believe. That's hard to do. But it's not because they just sat back and parked the bus. She said that we are a team that prides ourselves on having great defensive technique. That's the approach of this program. It's not one of we're going to play it safe. That's not how they think.
No, it's a fun way to play, and it's a fun way to watch. And, when they have the ball, they attack with numbers, and when they don't have the ball, they defend with numbers. So it's really a simple concept. Not a lot of teams are willing to do that, to commit so many numbers going forward. Columbia does it and does it well.
How important is it when you put those numbers forward to have the right goalkeeper?
Well, Sophie Whitehouse had a great, exceptional year last year and came up with some huge saves. But really, if a team is going to be really successful and the goalkeeper is going to really do well, you need all 11 players buying in to defending when you don't have the ball. And taking pride in, all 11 players should take pride in how well they've done defensively, just like all 11 players should be proud about how well they did go forward last year. It's a team game, and no one player is going to make the difference offensively or defensively. But I think that's what the coaching staff has done extremely well here in Columbia, is just to buy into that team concept. And
Lamort, off her line. She just had to deflect it up above the cage. That was dangerous.
Yeah, shot from distance there was Lamort with the clearance that went right to the Columbia player who saw the goalkeeper off her line. There you see it wasn't a great clearance and collected from distance there by Columbia. Lamort still off her line and had to hurry back just to touch that over the crossbar. It's actually a great save that was caused by not a great clearance.
How about the 8th corner kick? Shilcroft's been busy today, and she sent in some wonderful balls. That one's faded away, though. But Shilcroft's been impressive with the way that she struck it from the corner. Hemmings cut off, and one positive for the Rams has been the play of Kendall Dandridge.
Yeah, absolutely. She made a couple big tackles earlier, one-on-one with Amaris Hemmings, who's done well since she's come off the bench in this match.
Rams trying to turn things over now. The lengthy Amanda Miller is the leading returning scorer for Fordham, but it's the Fordham team. Miller only had 3 goals last year, so they're looking to score by committee, but they've yet to score thus far this season.
Well, we've talked about the returning players for Columbia, 7 of their top 8 returning leading scorers from last year. It's the same thing with Fordham. 7 of their top 8 scorers have returned. Now, they didn't score as much last year as Columbia did, 18 goals in 19 matches for Fordham last year, but they do have multiple players who have the ability to score goals. And here's a chance here late in the first half for Fordham with their second corner kick, I believe. First corner kick.
Just their first. Columbia with 8 on the half. Bornstein. Whitehouse in lockdown mode.
Yeah, such a great play by Whitehouse. It won't go down as a save. You won't realize if you just looked at the stats at the end of the game that she did that right there, but that's huge. Just relieves pressure, gets the ball in her hands, and the defenders are really excited when the goalkeeper can come off her line and do something like that. They don't have to deal with clearances. They don't have to deal with second balls. just confident, comfortably in the hands of Whitehouse.
Shilkrot, who's been really entertaining to watch in this first half. If you're a Lions fan, get used to hearing her name. Columbia looking to win one here. Sharp tackle, and it belongs to Fordham. Tyler, the freshman, very feisty, trying to win that one. Emma Johnson currently on the turf for Fordham. And the trainer will take a look. So Columbia up 1-0 with just under 4 left in this first half. And the Lions getting on the board in the 25th minute. Emily Coe to Emma Anderson, and then how about this connection?
Yeah, there it is, just the outside of the right foot, one touch, simple. Anderson knew Coe was going to make that run. It's those connections at the top of the box, which even if you're well organized, even if you're really sound defensively, even if you got a lot of numbers behind the ball, if you can give little short passes in pressure around the top of the box and get movement off the ball like we saw from Emily Coe there, and then it's the good delivery from Anderson and a good finish from Coe. If you can do that, you're going to still find your way through with a lot of opportunities, even though the other team might be pretty good tactically, pretty good in getting numbers behind the ball, pretty good in defending, which certainly Fordham is, but there are still ways to get through, and that's one of them.
So after the teams break for a little pre-half water and that quick timeout, we'll get back underway here. Fordham with the free kick. And the story in this first half is Columbia controlling possession for much of it. Their lockdown defense has been just that, and putting numbers forward eventually. In the 25th minute, Emily Coe putting the goal in, 1 of 7 shots for the Lions, and that one, the breakthrough. Coming up at the half, plenty to get to on the Columbia Lions. Some fall sports outlooks, as field hockey is just under a week away. The Lions will open it up on ESPN Plus Friday night against Quinnipiac, as here's an opportunity for Fordham, top of the box.
That was Aaron Trapp there with some last-minute defending. Fordham was able to just touch it by Johnson there, and Aaron Trapp at the top of the box knocked it away.
Morris Hemmings just off to the left, and it's a goal kick. Lions looking for maybe a late spark here and some insurance. That first goal coming in the 25th. Fordham trying not to add any more harm to themselves. As the last 2 minutes of play go on in this first half. If you're each of these coaches, what's the message to your teams heading into the break? Put that on hold for a moment. Nice run by Johnson. Cut off well. The Rams were all over it. Maggie Ruffley. 3 Lions were right there. Hemmings. Nice through ball. Slusher on the receiving end. Back to Hemmings. Good connection between those two right now. Fordham stopping that one. Showcroft with some creativity there. 1 minute left in this first half. And the Lions in the attacking third. They've had several dangerous opportunities. They do have that one goal. Ticks left. Lions with one more look at a corner. They're 9th of the half. A dominant half by Columbia in their home opener. Sent into the center of the box. Couple of headers. Opportunity here. And it's in! The Lions double the lead! With 1 second left in the first half. Talia Tyler, the freshman, with the first goal of her Columbia career.
And that was just a great job there. Rushing over to take that corner was another freshman, Malika Tomar. She got it off in time. And there was a brief scramble in the box. Hemmings had another chance at it inside the 6, and then the ball fell perfectly with 1 second to go in the half. It was Talia Tyler who was able to ram it home from inside the 6-yard box. But give credit to Malika Tomar, the first-year player, who recognized when that ball went out of bounds with about 15 seconds left in the half. The clock wasn't going to stop.